Welcome everybody to SLMOOC 2017, and this is Sunday, June 18th, and we're here to enjoy Renne Emiko Brock, or better known as Zinnia Zauber in Second Life, to enjoy her presentation, Superhero Keys to Success, Unlocking Potential Through Storytelling. Forge your own keys to open new opportunities and unique narratives in your classroom and community by harnessing treasured storytelling systems and empowered agency. From ordinary to extraordinary, reveal superhero skills through impressive catalysts and imagination. I'm going to tell you a little bit about Zinnia, and then you can click the wallboard that has information about today's event for a longer biography of Zinnia and some links as well. She's an artist, instructor, and superhero, empowering people to be their best virtual and tangible selves by advancing excellence, exceptional pursuits, and individualism through creative expression and encouraging instruction with inspired results. She has actively taught college-level fine arts and digital media for over 22 years, and her company, Unique as You, specializes in color perception, intention, utilization to create motivating, engaging experiences with innovative identity development, marketing, social media, events, and immersive environments for businesses, nonprofits, educational institutions, organizations, and communities. She creates art, apparel, and virtual goods, embracing the power of brilliant hues, uniqueness, and acceptance. So without further ado, we will turn this over to Zinnia, who will give us a little introduction to today's events, and then take us off to her own area for the rest of the presentation. You can find both landmarks in the note card in the wallboard, and on the note card in the wallboard, and in the wallboard itself there's also a landmark there. So take it away, Zinnia.
Hi, thank you very much. Thank you for the introduction, and thank you all for joining me here today. How about I check to see that everyone can hear me okay? I was just expressing to Val that I've just gotten home from a big trip and going in and out of air conditioning and airplanes and everything, that my voice is a little rough, but hopefully everyone can hear me just fine. Great. So welcome and ahoy. The presentation that you guys are going to enjoy today is a little interactive, a little rough around the edges, and a project that I've been continually working on with my students for 2 years. And to the point where that we've actually migrated into another space than where we're going to start. And I wanted to encourage all of you that you get to participate, and you'll get your pirate hats once we get over to my area. This project that we've been working on is using the hero's journey in order to build a virtual new student orientation project. And because at my college, Pennisula College, we are pirates, so that's why we have a pirate theme, and we dress up as pirates and wear our pirate hats. And you'll also see lots of different elements that are related to that. The Hero's Journey project has been going on for 2 years, and I've, of course, because I'm all about superheroes, I've modified the name to be the Superheroes Journey. And what you'll find is that we have 12 steps to help students navigate through what happens when you come on to college through a little adventure. Some of the elements of them are in progress and have been shifting over to our new build. So I hope that we have enough time that we can run over to the new build so you can see the progress that's happening. And yeah, Brant. So one thing about being pirates is that you know that the pirates help support revolutions, right? And that pirates can be pioneers, and pirates also know that there are great treasures out there, and we try to focus on the treasures within each of us. And so the keys to success are part of that. So without further ado, maybe we should, yeah, that's right, they're not afraid of change. We try to think of pirates in the positive light. I want to double check to be sure that everyone has the landmark to go to my classroom in Brawny. Yeah. And there's no pressure on wearing pirate hats, just so that you know that. And that's a good question to put it in chat. So any questions before we head over that way? Okay. So when we get over there, we'll have an opportunity to go through a set of slides to explain the project, and then we'll go on the journey. How's that sound? Okay. So how about I'll meet you guys there? Excellent. See you there. Yeah, go ahead and have a seat. I'm trying to pull out pirate hats. Okay. So you'll see next to the sticky note that there is a light bulb, and thanks, Val. So there's a light bulb, and you can click on it, and there's various pirate hats in there. Some are light and some are dark, and there's different sizes. And when you put on the pirate hat, you can click on it to customize the color. So I'm encouraging you all to do that. One thing that's very important within my classes is that my students learn to brand themselves. And if you've gone through any of my other lessons or visited my sim, you know that there's a fair amount of color theory and color communication throughout my work. And one thing that we try to do is to encourage the students to express themselves through the color and define, their mission and who they are and so forth through that. And the pirate hat's lots of fun. I would really like to have more opportunities to wear pirate hats on campus, and of course I'm working on that. So also while you're putting on your pirate hats, you can see where my avatar is standing. And I had the good fortune of doing the same presentation at the New Medium Consortium Conference this last week. And you can see that in these pictures I'm wearing the same dress. I make my own clothes, so I can also design fabric and make clothes, and I can bring the same thing in Second Life. And I'm also really thrilled that I won a judge's choice prize for my project. So just wanted to share and show off. So it looks like we got some pirate hats on. Excellent. Awesome. Okay. And yeah, thank you. It makes it really easy. And you can see there's all kinds of little gifties here. This is my classroom that I meet with my students, and we have virtual office hours every week. And Val also instruct some of our students as well in our social media classes at Pennisula College. So this space is where, we'll meet and greet and talk about ideas, generate our plans, and because this project is about, helping students have a better understanding of themselves and how they can be successful in college, there's lots of different lessons and gallery spaces where students can show off. So now that you guys all have pirate hats, can I encourage you to stand up and we'll walk over to my little slide presentation to get started. And on the ground here here are our keys to success. And this is a set of 24 keys that I designed for the students based on different lessons that I teach within my classes, but also to help students who may be not college ready and to express them some important elements that they need to consider. Now you can probably read some of the things. So what I want to encourage you guys to do is stand on the key. Oh, I don't know the hue. I'll have to look that up. Stand on the key that you would choose. So my students usually choose a key that either they need to focus on, or maybe they've been successful. So I'm going to stand on set goals. And what happens is that the students will actually pick several keys based on their needs, and they also will create 3D models of their keys that we bring into Second Life as well. So it looks like you guys found some keys. Excellent. And of course the keys have some icons on them, and some of them relate to our Hero's Journey project, some of them relate to just encouraging the students along the way. Awesome. Looks like you guys found this one. Ah, yes, you celebrate. That's an important one. Adaptability. Well, they're all important. And it was very hard for me. I created 25 keys originally, and I'm like, no, 24 for 24 hours of the day, so I had to let one go. But the good thing is I get to create a whole new set very soon. Okay. Can you hear me okay? Okay, great. Thank you. Oh, okay. That's good to know. So anytime you're losing me, please let me know. Okay, so let's take a moment and look at the slide deck. I know sometimes we don't necessarily want to do PowerPoint presentations, but mine are so pretty. So as I said before, this project is part of my coursework, which is I have my digital storytelling certificate, and that includes 3 different classes. So I have infographics and data visualization, and then intro to 3D design, and then engagement. And through those 3 classes, the students choose the different steps that they'll participate in. And we use this also as a marketing tool for the college. And as I said before, this project has been an ongoing project for 2 years, and it progressively changes every time, and some elements have been taken away, some elements have been added, and we've been expanding. This following year, we'll be adding to our project about guided pathways to help students understand what the different programs are within our college, and they can choose classes accordingly. And of course, you know all about superheroes. We're all superheroes. We all have superpowers, and we all have weaknesses. And of course, I'm not talking about fake superheroes. I'm talking about real superheroes. That's you guys. So in working on these things, I think about things on the inside and the outside. And some of you may have seen some of my actual sculptures are these kind of cubes that are multiple colors, but different mediums. So the inside and the outside, you know, when we're working in virtual worlds, we know that we experience things a little differently, and we can eventually apply them within the physical world as well. Yeah, we're all supers. So we usually start out with an origin story. So getting to know the students, finding out how they got here. They ended up in college and so forth, to understand their motivation. So we have the external, their origin story, and the internal, what is their motivation. Defining their mission and their motivation makes it much easier to gain confidence and apply it to give others confidence. So the students, can you guys see the slides, Resine, okay? Okay, sweet. Thank you. So the students end up looking through our 12 steps, and what they do is that they're going to choose one of these steps that they're going to share their stories in order to support new students. And they don't get super personal as much as that they realize that their stories are important. So we have the engagement and then their mission. So, quite often when we see students come in, this may be the first time they've ever been to school, they may be here for retraining, and they find different ways that they want to participate. My classes are online and on campus, and I bring both of those sets of students together in Second Life. And so we do these projects, and a lot of you get to interact with them, which is really awesome. So students will choose 1 to 3 keys to success to focus on and blog throughout the course. What's really great is that they do their research and they investigate, which one would be most appropriate. So of the ones that you guys chose, let's see. So we got persistence, prioritize, assistance, resources. Awesome. You guys picked some really great ones. Socialize, study, adapt, celebrate, communicate, respect, and curiosity. So Fidget, let me pick on you for a second. So with curiosity, that's something that's really important in my classes is inquiry. To ask questions, right? And hopefully we break down those barriers that people are afraid to ask questions. We always learn more when we ask questions. And we also understand active listening. So the students then create mesh models of the keys that they've chosen. So you're asking yourself, oh my gosh, what applications are they using? Anything they can possibly get a hold of. A lot of the keys that they create, the easiest one that they utilize is they use Photoshop to create their keys. And you'll find some of their keys in their gallery spaces that we've created within this area. It's really fun to see which keys they choose and then the delight that they have when we bring them in world. It makes it real for them. And we hope in the future that we can have a budget that we can actually print these keys for the students as well. Wouldn't that be awesome? All right. So part of, 3D printing. Yeah, wouldn't it be cool? Yeah, secretly we looked at how much it would cost to do them in gold. That was a mistake. So we find gold in other ways, maybe brass. Oh, that's so cool, Brant. Yeah. So here we have also that we want to build community within going through the hero's journey and developing these keys and creating lots of inclusion with it. It's very interesting to me to see the changes that happen within my classrooms. I always have students work on teams, and to see, the lone student who just works by themselves all the time is forced to be part of a team. And some of you guys experienced how I built teams last year in the MOOC. And they come through and they make lifelong friends in this process, business partners quite often too. It's really amazing. It's important for me to have everyone feel like they're part of something. So these students go through, it's really important to get them. So these students go through the process of being the hero and becoming a superhero mentor. So going through this process doesn't mean that they're done. you know, that they're going to be the ones that come through and help the next set of students. And I'm really big on mentorship, that they get an opportunity to help build the world, share their stories, you know, add extra bits and so forth within this space. And, you know, like you guys are talking about loners and loneliness, and, you know, we all have a great sense of community within this area, right? And so often online students don't have that sense. They're just away and they're just in front of a screen, and utilizing Second Life has been a great opportunity to make them feel like they're part of something greater. And some of them are even challenged to come on campus and seek me out. Luckily, you can see me from space. All right, that gets into identity, right? So in developing this, we also work on what our pirates might look like. So the pirates might have different types of on them. They might have different colors. I have one student who, like, he's got to be a sky all the time. So we have fun with that. I'm happy he chose that instead of the little man from Ghostbusters. So with creating an identity, you know, this also creates autonomy, right? And when students feel like that they can make powerful decisions that affect others, they really appreciate it. But also that they know that, you know, I trust them. They gain my trust through this process, and in doing that, they also feel like they can do anything. It's amazing to see the transformation that happens with these students. Absolutely, very empowering. So each student will blaze their own path, and they create unique content for these different things. A lot of the content that you may not necessarily experience within what we walk through is that I have each student do a blog, and each week they have to do essays about what we're working on and understand the responsibility of creating media. It's really fantastic to see the work that they produce, and they really do influence each other and people on campus. Communication, there we go. So, you know, the big thing that we really want them to gain from this is to be able to communicate. You know, giving them these keys to success, they're able to use that as a way of introducing ideas that they're experiencing. And also that idea that they can pass a key to someone else to encourage them to discuss what they're going through. So let me see, I'm going to pick on someone. So Lux, I'm going to pick on you for a second. So you picked prioritize. So why was that an important one for you to choose? You can see it's got a target on it. Is it something to help you gain opportunities? Yeah, goals. I know a lot of the students have trouble with time management. Who doesn't, right? And with the prioritize key, it's interesting. A lot of students choose that one because I think they realize that, you know, they're not sure what they should be working on. And one thing that I've been trying to get them to think about is, what's the most important thing? Yeah. Yeah. So what's the most important thing? And I say, so what's the most important thing? Which classes are important to work on? You know, which relationships are important? Yeah, and you know, definitely look at how your time's being spent. Now, I often joke with my students that they do my assignments last. In all the classes they take, they do my assignments last. I'm like, why is that? Why are you doing that? Like, feeling sorry for myself, you know, like that I'm last. But they tell me that they do it last because it's a treat. It makes them feel good. And they want to get through those other assignments so that they can have the fun ones in the end. So I feel a little better. Ah, there you go. That's pretty serious. Okay. So once we go through, building these assignments, each class has their own gallery space, and so this picture has them putting their 3D models in that gallery space, and you can see some of the keys that they developed there. So a lot of the work we do also is to develop opportunities for students. And you guys know showing up makes all the difference in the world. They get opportunities because they show up and participate actively. Creating those opportunities also creates a mastery, and they feel pretty powerful. So because this is part of the digital storytelling program, they realize that they have to communicate things in a story form. So, to have that introduction, the conflict, and the solution. And it's really excellent to see over time how yes, actually, they do create videos. They did one specifically for this project. Each term, the students decide what their final project will be. And last term, they did a video, and this term they did a booklet. So they try to generate different media that they can share with folks. Yes, absolutely. So here's a picture of our college when you enter the college, and you'll see that there's some different elements, archways and so forth. And so a lot of the visuals that we have on our campus come up, within this space, but we're not trying to recreate the campus. This project also is a marketing tool for the college in order to encourage people to join us. Our campus inspires many of the themes that we have. And we have beautiful woods behind our campus. That's part of our campus. We also have the first longhouse ever built on a college campus. So we have a lot of tribal influences. 9 different tribes came together to build that longhouse. And as I mentioned before, we're pirates. You can see here we are all dressed up as pirates. And the president of our college is there doing the pirate pose. Captain Morgan pose, there we go. Oh, it's okay, you don't have to be a pirate. Excellent. Okay, so most of the rest of the slideshow kind of talks about what the different steps are and everything, but you know what, I think it would be really great to walk you guys through the space and then maybe share with you some of the other things that are going, and we can come back to this. So in building this project, I created essentially the style guides, the guides, and the laws of all things that would happen within the space. And sometimes people feel like restrictions prevent things from happening. So the idea that, to build these keys, I had to stop at, 24. It was really hard because I just wanted to keep going. The same thing with, deciding that there's only 12 steps for our story. And then also that each step has a set of laws. So let me get to that slide just so you can see what that looks like. So each step's going to have what the step's about, the setting, so that location within our forest that we have, the symbols that you'll find within that step, and those symbols, as I said before, are added to as we go through things, and then what the achievement is through that step, and what the experience is. And, the idea of this project was that our audience most likely will be people who have never come into Second Life before. This is their first time. They can just move around a little bit, and not to block them anyway, that there's not going to be some severe restrictions. Like if you click on something, it only lets you do something else. That doesn't happen. Everything's pretty open for them to experience. And as I mentioned before, the project continues to expand. So you guys get to walk through part of it, and then we'll go over to the new area as well. So to start off with, I'm going to just go through these really quick to give you guys an idea of what the students have done. So they build infographics first, and this actually generates some ideas for how the storyline will go. Because we're going with the pirate theme, we often have pirate things, and we decided the steering wheel is part of that. Each student will help develop the infographic, and then when they move into the next class, they'll design three-dimensional objects as well. In step 2, we define, the different types of students and so forth that enjoy our college. And this actually, is a project that we have many stakeholders at the college with. So what I'm going to encourage us to do is start walking through, and I can continue to talk. And to let you guys know, I'm going to leave this up here so you can experience it any time. I also have part of this set of slides available on SlideShare, so I'll be sure to include those links for you as well. So how about we go on the hero's journey? Follow me. This is your pirate's hat. So our call to adventure, you define, which type of student you are, and different resources will be available for you. You can gather keys as you go, and some of these objects that you guys might see may not be active. We've been making changes, so as I appreciate you guys understanding. There's some changes. Yes, you notice the rain. Yeah, well, we're in Washington State, so we don't use umbrellas. In Washington, we don't melt. And so you can see the different archways define the different types of students we have. And at our college, we have Running Start programs, so high school students can join us, which is represented by the little fawn over there. We have traditional students. We have students that are, explorers, that they're not totally sure what they want to do. We have students who are there for retraining, and then we also have experienced students. Ah, excellent. That's good to know. Where do you live? I live in Squim. Ah, excellent. Great. We'll have to do a meetup sometime. So as our adventurers go through, they can gain different objects along the way. And so you can click on the light bulb in the treasure chest to gain different objects. Oh, did you hear that? Was that a wolf? Maybe. Things to come ahead. In step 3, we have the refusal to call. So you know how it is that people who want to start college have many reasons why they don't need to start. They may not have funding, they may not have transportation, they may not have daycare. And so the students understood that there's impediments. So we have the fallen tree trunks that are blocking your path, and the weasels are here to teach you. You could just jump right over them. Our newer version of this, mapping a course for your journey. So you can gain different objects here, and we also talk about some of the pitfalls of student loans now in different projects. All right. You didn't even have to jump. All right. Then we have step 4, meeting your mentor. So all the students know that they get to come to college and meet all types of mentors. So this is all happening, pretty much before you start attending classes. And we decided that golden apples would be our mentors. And so you can climb the ladders and pick different apples. And the idea is that you can gain resources. So we have advisors, we have instructors, we have folks that are here to support our veterans, folks to support people with different abilities on campus. And so they'll be able to gather all of those resources. And of course, being from Washington, we've got to have apples. Yep, help those peg-legged people. Definitely. Okay. And here we have our bunnies, Matrix and Beatrix. Now Matrix and Beatrix have expanded their role in our next version of our superhero's journey. Here, They're here to ask you, what do you want to do? Do you want to go forward in your journey, or do you want to go back? Do you want to return? So the thought here, obviously, is that we have a little bit of the Matrix involved with this, but also throwing a little Alice in Wonderland and so forth, to see, how people choose. Do you want to adventure forward or not? And leaning up against here for step, excellent, Renne. Step 5, crossing the first threshold, we have a walking stick in case you need a little help to get up and down the stairs. So let's go for it. So we all know that when we enter college, we go from the ordinary world into the extraordinary world. So let's go for it. And we head down. Now when we go over to the newer build, you'll see that this area has changed a little bit. But there's some important elements that you'll see here, including our hydrangeas and a little bit of model of what one of our classrooms might look like. Because we have such a beautiful campus, and because I love flowers, obviously, with the name zinnia, that I also use a lot of the symbols that we gain through flowers and different objects. And hydrangeas are a symbol for wisdom. And actually, hydrangeas are planted all around the building that I teach on campus. Oh, sorry, Fidget, didn't mean to run into you. Here we are at step 6. Oh, great. So, going from step 5 to step 6, the idea is that, you gain maps, you get an idea of what classes are available and what subjects you might want to go to. And step 6 kind of pulls into, getting familiar with how we experience the social elements, as well as, understanding how we take classes and so forth. So within the space, as I mentioned before, we have a number of native stories that we like to utilize on campus. And the wolf pack and the wolves are part of a lot of origin stories within our local tribes. And there's actually one of the things you can get here. You see this bone that's with this set of wolves? They're offering you this bone in friendship so that you can join the pack. And if you click on it, you'll actually get a little wolf hat that you can wear. So if you don't want to be a pirate, you can be a wolf. And because, wolves are our friends, we're happy to have them. And we've actually expanded to having a orca pod when we go into our next version of this. And instead of having enemies, we've decided that we're going to use tricksters. So we have the Raven trick us. They steal our phone if you end up there. And each one of these areas also include a spot on campus. And this is where we try to merge what happens in Second Life and on campus. So on campus, this step is related to our social area, which is the pub or the Pirate Union building. And so we have keys hidden amongst the area. At step 7, this is part of our library. So adaptation and approach. So this step came into play about thinking about, how do you modify options? Can you guys hear the dragonflies? So dragonfly is often a symbol of transformation, and it is the official insect of Washington State. And actually a group of, I think, 5th graders made that happen. So within this, you can see that there you have a little bit of a barrier to cross. So you can choose, you can use the different stones to cross. You can also, we're going to add some galoshes if you want to do. You can get to the same place. Oh, well, I didn't know that. That's good to know. I'll have to add that to the story. Okay. Step 8, the ordeal. So quite often, students have something horrible happen to them when they come to school. It could be a death, it could be... And when they come into this space, you'll find that it's a dead end. Oh no. And this step relates to all the resources we have available for students on campus, including counselors. And you can gain a set of book wings here if you need them. In our new version of it, the student decided to modify from going to a dead end to having a maze within a series of tunnels. So it's very action-packed. Hey, Marley. And I always say in class that there's no dead ends, only U-turns. So let's turn around and walk out. Hi. Hi. Once we get out, we should be able to... Step 9. And we're flying over the mountain. So we're not letting something stop us. And step 9 is pretty obvious. Okay. So go ahead and drop into step 9. And let yourself fall down. Excellent. So it gets a little crowded in here. So in step 9 we get to the reward. And, you know, this comes into that idea that, you know, we need to celebrate and reward ourselves for these processes. And with the hero's journey, you know, there's often many chances for rewards, but we don't often take the time to reflect on this. And in my classes we try to celebrate those successes that we have. You can see there's a number of gifts and items that are within this space, including gold and the special hats and feathers and so forth. And the students have shifted from a monetary reward to now knowledge as the reward. Of course that makes sense, doesn't it? Is this the afterlife? No. The hero didn't die. They almost died. Or they had a crisis that was very difficult. And they managed to get through it, and that they get to have a reward. And let's walk through this archway to get out. And as many of you know, that we go through these experiences and we transform, right? We change, hopefully for the better. And I always say that education is a form of mutation. So we have lots of butterflies within this space. And we start the journey back to the ordinary world. Now, this area is not as super developed as some of the other areas because now we've made some changes in our new space. We'll investigate. So the journey back is that idea of like you've gone through all of this and now we're returning to the ordinary world. And, you know, it's a time of reflection as well. And I'm sure that all of you are working on having reflection in your classes. Step 11 is the resurrected hero. So this is where a hero has the toughest time, super tests, you know, probably finals before they graduate. But it's also an opportunity for them to try different things. And that includes being able to do internships, to be part of clubs and leadership, and to investigate things, to volunteer for different things that they haven't done, and to take advantage of the fact that they're still a student. And I often tell my students, definitely show up in different places with a clipboard and a camera and claim that you're a student so you can gain access to amazing things and make those different connections. That's what's really important within this step. And as we continue on, we get to our final step. which is returning with the elixir. So they've gained all this knowledge. They've become a mentor for the next hero that comes through. They transform into that golden apple we talked about. And then they can migrate into, we can migrate into our classroom. So follow me. And here we are. You guys can have a seat here. There are several different places. Now within this area, a number of the students have put some of their 3D designs, including this anchor. And we try to use different symbols, of course using nautical thoughts. That an anchor is a place that we feel like we are safe, right? And the goal is that with this new student orientation, the students will realize that the college is a safe place for them, that they are home. Excellent. And as you guys saw along the way, there were plenty of keys that you could pick up. And as I mentioned before, the students have many stakeholders that they work with, so they go around campus and gain resources from folks in order to help add resources. Sorry, Brant, let me see. Any recognition from the first year retention people? So I don't think I understand the question. Oh, yes. So a number of the staff that are part of the student success team were our stakeholders, and we did get some attention from them. And what we've also gotten is because the president of our college loves the hero's journey. He's an old English professor. He's very excited about this and is allowing more people to know about it, as well as that we're expanding it to include guided pathways. Yes, it's really delightful to have so much support from our president and our vice president of instruction and my dean. And because our whole campus will be shifting over and learning about guided pathways, I'm going to have a great opportunity presenting more of this during our professional development in Service Week. It means a great deal to me that we get this support. They may not totally understand it, and it helps when I show them stuff that my avatar looks like me, so they can get a direct connection. But I have my students every term have to do a presentation with different leaders within our campus, and a lot of the students may not necessarily have that exposure, and so we're big on doing presentations and sharing it. In this space around the fire, the students were surprised when I took them behind our Learning Longhouse on campus that there was a spot just like this. So making those connections with the virtual world and the physical world has been super important in this project. And they recognize that developing those keys and developing who they are and feeling empowered has made a huge difference for them. So I think I passed everyone a landmark. Did everyone get my landmark that says the superhero's journey with Pennisula College? Okay. Excellent. Excellent. So what this should do is should land us on a location for step 5 in our new space. And the reason why I wanted to show you the new space, even though it's under construction and rough around the edges, to let you see how this project continues on, and that's what's really amazing about this, is that the students are enthusiastic to keep working on it even after they've graduated. They want to keep coming back and adding more. So I wanted to share with you a little part of what we're working on there. So step 5 and step 6 step 5 is generated by a new student to our campus, and step 6 is a student that will be graduating next year. And her goal, she works for the national park. So we live just north of the Olympic Peninsula, the Olympic Mountains National Park, and so she works at the park. And so she decided that she wants to recreate the life cycle of a salmon in that area. So she's, integrating an entire lesson within a lesson, which is what I'm really excited about, seeing how the students add to this. And utilizing virtual world has been so exciting for them, and as I mentioned before, they come back again and again. So let's take a moment, and as I said, things are kind of rough around the edges in our next area, but at least you can find it, and you'll have a landmark to see as we progress. Our classes just ended this week. I had graduation yesterday, and so I won't have students come back in until fall, but during the summer I'll probably be working on things, getting them prepared for the next part of our adventure. So would you like to join me in our Pirate Cove? Excellent. Okay, let's TP. I'll see you there. Watch out for the squirrels. So, let's see. Okay. So you can see that there's some familiar elements and some new things coming along. And as I mentioned before, we'll be expanding this project as well. So watch out for the squirrels. Watch out for the raccoons. The students love adding all of our animal friends to help tell the stories. And because the oak tree is a great symbol of knowledge, now we've created a classroom that is within the roots of this tree. And the idea that the roots and the branches of a tree will help students also think about what kind of classes they want to take. And the acorns are little bits of knowledge, right? And we can gather as many of those as we want. So you can see, as the story progresses, the students add their own ideas to it, and within this space you can gain more about what classes are available, more about the college, and so forth. And we've discussed that we want to set up a coffee bar here too. It's such a pretty view. Why not? On our campus, we can see Canada from where we are. We look across the Juan de Fuca Strait. And then also, as I mentioned before, to the south of us, we have the Olympic Mountains. So you can see that there's been changes where we have in step 6, now we start seeing more about the Nashville area. And we've added now our trickster raven. And as I mentioned before, the student decided to add this life cycle. And because we're on the coast, we've got great things to enjoy. Isn't this fun? Now you can go swimming with the orcas. They're in the water there. Oh yes. Now my student Christelle, she's very those birds are very important to her, and so she wants to tell lots of stories about them. Is the cinema approximation of our campus? Not at all. Not at all. You know, the setting is like our campus. You know, we're in the Northwest, and so we have a lot of the same trees and same plants and so forth. But as far as the layout, not at all. I didn't want to recreate the campus. I just wanted. Oh, somebody found the swim with orcas! Yay! It could be an ideal version of it. It's really a place that we want people to be able to explore and grow. And then they'll also experience, if they go through this space and then they come on campus, that they would find a lot of the same imageries, especially like arches and plants, and different clues along the way. And the signs are the same as well. So, as I mentioned before, since this area is kind of under construction, I'm happy that we're able to share with you guys some of what we're doing, and it's lots of fun because the students, you know, just want to keep adding and adding. Oh, the name of my school is Pennisula College, and you can find us at pencol.edu. And I've been teaching with them for almost 10 years. And through my entire time working with them, they have allowed me to use Second Life in my courses. And because I don't want to get us trapped, I'll end us up here with this nice view. So watch out for our ravens. There's more to see here, but I don't want to get anyone stuck in the tunnels. And I have a couple rules in my classes, and number 10 is eat breakfast. So we've set up breakfast for folks, and hopefully we'll add some fun animations. Now that I've seen those animations in the headquarters, I might have to find some of those. So yes, I'm glad that the beach inspires you to go to the real beach, and that's a big deal for us, is to be able to encourage people not to spend all their time on screen, but to do other things in the world as well, and to explore and have adventures. So I have 1 minute for questions. I'm really grateful to get a chance to share you guys this stuff, and oh, okay, good. Thank you, Val. Thank you. Yes, so that's a great question. So a lot of what we're doing does involve transformation with the students, and because we're starting off with the new student orientation, this is, you know, an example of anytime someone goes to school, they're going to have a transformation. And that, oh, well, the wolves are here too. The wolves are here too. Because we have the pod and the pack here. Because when someone goes to school, they do transform, they change. And so we want to give students a preview of that happening. We're also setting up little computers so that students can walk through the space, part of new student orientation as well, so they can get some ideas. Yes, it's about going to college. And, oh, Pillar, excellent, becoming a wolf. And because, you know, not all students have access, we're at the end of the road, as we like to describe ourselves. My college, Pennisula College, is the most northwest college in the continental U.S. And so not all students would have access to high-speed internet or an expensive computer that can run Second Life. So we will do our best to have setups so students can experience it as well. Yes, we're totally on the edge. And what's been really fantastic is that because in my classes I have students of all ages, you know, from 16 to 70 and 80, they all have different experiences that they can share and add to this project. And as I mentioned before, we have many stakeholders on campus that participate and give us different ideas what we need to add. In our last presentation, we had some excellent feedback of things to include. All the sounds, aren't they fun? Sometimes I have to turn them off because I get a little nervous. And I also wanted to tell you guys that we're using the Keys to Success as part of a scavenger hunt on campus. So the keys are hidden around campus, and the students can get the QR code and get additional content that relates to what we're doing here, as well as the tools that they may need while they're on campus. So within the digital storytelling program, I try to have them work with multiple medias, so it's fun. Will QR codes be got? No, I don't think so. Because what will be more of a thing is that any image can be scanned and will give content. You guys have the best avatars. Look at that! Oh my god! You guys are awesome. Cute. Maggie, I'm so happy you're filming this because I've completely failed at taking any pictures through this process. You know, it would be really fantastic to add more augmented reality experiences within this space and on campus. Oh, yay, thank you very much. Yes, actually we looked at that, and I'm trying to get some education discounts to be able to utilize them. And because most of the things that I teach, I have to be sure are free for students to utilize. That's why Second Life is so awesome. Our media students do have to get the Adobe Creative Cloud. Oh, that's great. Okay. Well, hopefully I can start integrating some of those elements. That's the goal. I've demonstrated a lot of augmented reality in class, and one of my favorite games to show the students is Journey for the PlayStation, and the Art of Journey book is amazing. It's got a lot of augmented reality within it. Have you guys played that? What? Oh, if there's one... No? Come on! Well, it's a PlayStation game, and actually the Game of the Year when it was done. It must be 5 years old now. If you ever get the chance, do play. It's pretty amazing. And, you know, it lets you explore the area, and it's a game also that people were able to do together online. Yeah, well, maybe they'll develop another game that can be for multiple systems. But they have a book about the game, and it includes a lot of augmented reality experiences. And because, you know, I have some younger students, there's a lot of expectation of gaming elements within this space. So, now that you've gone through this, what kind of keys of success do you think that you need to devise for your students or your community? Ah, okay, Brett, that's actually a good thing. I have a lot of introverts as well, very shy students, and what I have found is that utilizing Second Life has been a great way of getting them out of their shells. And because I make all my students present every single week in front of the class, I'm evil that way. They actually get out there. They also have to be parts of teams, and often the team leadership has to shift. So it does help. But the biggest thing I have found when it comes to the introverts is that their time devising their avatar and deciding how important the accoutrements that they include with their avatar and being able to explain who they are through the branding of their avatar brings them out of their shells and allows them to express who they truly are. And if being a shy person is that is totally okay. Yeah, absolutely. I want to tell you guys that I have very shy students. I can have some very shy students in the classroom, but when I bring them in the world, they are the biggest chatty Cathys. I mean, they talk, and it's very encouraging. Yeah, it's hilarious. I'm like, is that real? Are you sure that's who you are? You know. And then the other part of it is that when we do field trips within Second Life, you know, some of the shy students will be more active in Second Life and participating, but then when we're in the classroom, they will describe in great detail and enthusiasm about the field trip. Yeah, I think this environment is fantastic for communication and transformation, and what I think also is important is that we also embrace and accept people for who they want to be. Other questions or thoughts or keys that you decided you need? Excellent. Brent, what kind of future development do you think is going to happen? Because in the realm I work in is that all medias will be used simultaneously, and because people will see how I demonstrate what we do in world can happen out there too. Yes, teacher training, absolutely. Ah, that's good. Have you worked with Gentle Herring on that? Working with folks with gifted ed? She's definitely is specialized in bringing some people in world. I really encourage you to make that connection because she does a lot of training to understand the different needs that they have in different spaces. Yeah, take advantage of that. And that's, you know, the thing that is most special about this space is that we have so much access to each other, right? Well, just like last week, I got to meet Marley in person while I was traveling, so I got direct access. But, you know, it's something that's really special is the generosity and the brain power that we have within Second Life. That we all have these communities of practice that actually practice and play with each other. So do take advantage of your friends and make even more. Yes, I hope so. Yeah. Oh, right, that's a good question. So this sim is actually a partnership with a couple different nonprofits, and that empty space is going to become part of the Guided Pathways project. Yeah, and I don't. You guys can pan. Let's see. There's a mountain that we're creating that's covering up the tunnels that I was trying to keep you guys not going into. And so we'll start the Guided Pathways area up there, and that'll help students walk through and learn about the different programs and degrees and certificates that are available at our college. And hopefully also this could be utilized for anyone who is looking for ways of transforming themselves and learning more. Still getting stuck in. No, actually people can get through the tunnels. It's just I wanted to be sure that we had a chance to visit and enjoy the ocean. we worked on those tunnels all term, so yeah. What I need to add to the tunnels are teleport escape patches for people. Yeah, I know, that's the problem. They're too tall. I'm like just the right size. Me and Fidget. And O, yeah. Are you O or 0? We're nice and short. 0, excellent. Okay, thank you. Yeah, we're the right size, so we can get through it. I know Maggie, I'm kind of over my time, but I just want to tell you guys that please, send me friend requests if we're not friends already, and I hope that I can share even more with you guys. This is an ongoing project, as I mentioned before, and I'm delighted to have opportunities to share with people these different things, and hopefully it inspires you to devise a set of keys to success for your students and an adventure for them to go through together in order to discover the treasure within themselves. So thank you.
Thank you so much for coming, and thank you so much, Zinnia, for doing this program again. We really have enjoyed it. It's a wonderfully transformative idea and a great way to onboard new students. I wish I was years and years and years younger and just starting out at college again. So thank you so much.
Thank you, and you can start over anytime.
I got a PhD already, so I don't think I'm going to start over.
You don't want to get another one? Oh, sorry.
I still remember the last one, so actually no. But I would love to visit the campus sometime, and definitely, yeah, Bran, next life. That would be great.
Yeah, absolutely. And I want to encourage all of you, if you are traveling in our area in Washington State, please feel free to contact me. I'm about 2 hours away from Seattle, and you're always welcome to come out and